I really enjoy the solitude of my studio. For the past 12 years, I've been working in this space, and it's become a kind of like sanctuary for me. Um, and it's really like a privilege to have your own space and be able to know that like you're going to be able to work for the most part uninterrupted for however long you'd like. Making pottery can be a struggle. Um, and I'm not talking about like the mechanics of it. You throw pots for a while, and you start to get what clay wants to do and how your hands need to move with the material and what kind of pressure to use. And that's not what I'm talking about. But I mean more like once you get those skills and you can make the clay do more or less what you would like it to do. Um, it's the struggle of what to then do with that, because you could pretty much do anything that you could conceive. Sometimes it's hard to know what is going to make something a good pot, and what's going to ruin a pot. And often you kind of don't know until after the piece is out of the kiln, and even after you've lived with it for a while. There's this mystery to working with clay that I personally love, and I hope that there will always be something mysterious about it that keeps me working towards a better and better understanding of both the material and what I really want to do with the material. I don't want to feel like I have to be too precious about my work. I want it to carry with it a sense of ease, and that it's an object that's meant to be used and meant to be enjoyed. And that's not to say that I wouldn't make work that's meant to be more just purely visual or enjoyed as an art object, but I think something like a mug or a vase or a bowl. These are things that are like part of our daily lives, and I think that even though they are objects that people come to really love, it ought not be a tragedy if one gets broken. I like to think of decorating as kind of like a puzzle, and I never really want any two pots to be the same. So I always decorate in like pretty large batches, usually anywhere from like 50 to 100 pieces at a time. And as I'm going through, I try to develop a kind of rhythm with the piece. So, from one piece to the next, I'll use something as a starting point, and just try to do a lot of different variations on, color placement, brush width, the relationships of colors to one another on a piece and between pieces. For the last 2 years, pretty much, I've been only selling my work through shops or my website. I haven't really been doing any in-person markets, which I did for about 12 years before that, and I definitely felt like I needed a break from it. But at this point, I'm really starting to miss it, and I think the social isolation aspect of the pandemic has certainly been part of that longing in me to kind of get back into the world and sell pots in person. But also I think selling pots online is this really tricky thing, and I don't love doing it, and I don't know, it's almost like it's a necessity these days, and obviously you'd be losing out on a huge potential audience if you didn't.
But I think there's something else that really gets lost with especially a handmade pot on the internet is never going to communicate what everything it has to communicate to you. I don't see myself ever not working in clay, as long as I'm physically capable of using the material. It's something that I plan on doing for the rest of my life. It's definitely, like, I would say, if not really an obsession, like approaching an obsession. And to the point that I find that if I haven't worked in clay for like a few days even, I get this like angsty feeling of like, oh, I really want to be in my studio, or really want to be throwing pots on the wheel. And it's just where I want to be. It's what I love doing. And you know it's incredible, really. It's incredible that you can make a semblance of a living um, doing this. But I feel extremely grateful that my work is supported, and I can bring pots out into the world, and people want to buy them and live with them. There's something really incredible about that, and I'm just super thankful that this is where I'm at right now in my life.